love the sound of the human voice with no amplification.
Could I just be regular? That sounds awesome. How's that for you guys?
That's good. That's
Okay. Yeah. So, and with, with an acoustic guitar, it's wood and metal and a voice and a living room. So could we just pretend we've come to God's living room this morning? And there's this woman that just moved to town, down to Lakewood, and she's just sharing through her songs and stories and a few pictures about a 10-year personal Peace Corps pilgrimage. I believe that callings are like waves out on the ocean. So imagine that you're out there, maybe chest high, waist high in the water. And you've got these waves, we're all out there with these waves, and we're all pointed toward the shore, okay? As those waves come, how many of you have ever tried either surfing, boogie boarding, or body surfing, where you just jump up and sort of try to ride the wave in, yeah? And so if you've ever tried body surfing, which is, I've boogie boarded and body surfed, and the result is the same. That's why I'm not trying to surfboard. Yeah. Body surfing and boogie boarding are plenty for me, because what you do is you wait for just the right wave, and then if you're body surfing, you just jump when the wave comes and sort of try to flatten your body out so that you can ride the wave in. And sometimes you might ride it for 1 foot and then you just put your feet back down and try again. Sometimes it actually carries you in a little ways and you get to be on your knees when you kind of stop, and then you just stand up and go back out. Sometimes you can ride the wave all the way in, and that's really exciting, isn't it? We can ride it all the way in, right up until the point that you are just scraping your face on the sand, and then all that sand is going into whatever swim apparatus you happen to be wearing, and you may be picking sound out of delicate places for a long time. Yeah. So we know what that's like, right? Yeah. And yet, what do we do after that? We get up and we're ready to go again. Because it's fun, right? So sometimes it's a good wave, sometimes it's a good ride, sometimes it's a short ride, sometimes we get scraped on the beach, and we keep doing it because it's fun. Now some people would rather go out and ride a really big wave. They'd rather go out, up to their neck or further and ride a wave, although I don't know how you jump if it's over your neck. But those people might get a better ride, but they also might stand there for a really long time waiting for the perfect wave, right? What if we imagine that every calling we get, big or small, whether it's a call to go wash the coffee cups, a call to be the greeter, a call to play the keyboards on a Sunday morning, a call to bring all your sound gear up here, Jeff, thank you, and make it work even on days when the sound gear refuses to cooperate. I believe that all of these are callings. And if we were out on the beach together and we're all out in the water, would we judge each other whether someone rode a big wave or a small wave? Would it matter? No, we're just having fun. We're just having fun. So what if every wave is an opportunity? It's just an opportunity. We don't have to take them, and we can take them, and there's always another one. And what if all of these opportunities aren't sent by God? Just an opportunity for us to experience something new, to try something new. Now, in our society, have you noticed how we've created a culture of trying to get to success, which I call Plan A. Our Plan A. A is often achievement, accolades, accomplishments. Is there something that has to do with money that starts with A? What would we say?
Abundance.
Oh, abundance. Abundance. Any other A words that?
Assets.
Oh, assets. Yes, assets. So we're all going for this Plan A. Has anyone but me figured figured out that Plan B is also important to get used to riding the wave of Plan B, because Plan B happens. It happened for me when I was happily married, and for me it was like, I speak in images, as you can see. I was happily married and thinking that if our life was like a jigsaw puzzle, we had put in the animals, we had 2 standard poodles, we put in the house, we put in the cats, we put in the yard. Our standard poodles, I've got to say, standard poodles they're said to be some of the smartest dogs ever. I think ours were substandard. They were very sweet. They loved everybody. They were so excited to get in the car. Even if you were going to the vet, they had no idea. Yeah, you could get out a suitcase and pack it, and they had no idea you're going to go out of town. Yeah. I don't believe in having those dogs that are smarter than you. Does anybody have a dog smarter than you? Yeah. No chance of that with my substandard poodles, right? Sometimes we teach what we most need to learn. I'm just going to do a little bit of a section of a song here that you probably know. One short year after I was thinking that, what actually happened was that I was divorced. And have you ever had something in your life that made it feel like your jigsaw puzzle was back in the box? Only now half the pieces were missing, and you didn't know which ones. And there was something else that was also missing, the picture. The picture you had in mind of how you wanted things to go. At those times, that's when we have to live this darn song that I wrote. You have no idea how frustrating it is to write songs like this. Then to be pouring your heart out to a friend and have them say, "Do you ever listen to your music?" Some of them suggested that the perfect song for me right there would be this one. I'm not lost, I am exploring. Life is an adventure worth enjoying. Though I may not know where I'm going, I am not lost, I am exploring. I am not lost, I am exploring. So, I want you guys to think about your own lives. Maybe there's some puzzle in your life that's been put back in a box, and you've got questions about where you're headed next. And maybe, just maybe, you've been feeling some pieces fit into place. As I've been living in Denver for the past 9 months, it's been challenging. I have cried buckets over feeling lonely, over trying things that don't work, over trying to get my business going again, which was so strong before my personal Peace Corps pilgrimage, before I answered that call that I knew was for me. And now, you know, you may wonder, well, Jana, why'd you come back? Well, I heard a call. It was from MasterCard. Yeah, they let me know that they were maxed out with me leading volunteer trips. And they pretty much reached their limit with my backpacking ways. And so basically they said, you know, Jana, you've shown a lot of love around the world. We need you to show MasterCard some love. Because we can't go on continuing to be your major benefactor if you don't show MasterCard some love. So that's why I'm back. That was my calling. I'm riding that wave back into current culture. Sometimes it feels like when I left American culture, I was on an episode of the Flintstones, and now everyone but me is on an episode of the Jetsons. But I'm learning. Where are those pieces that you're starting to notice in your life that are falling into place and maybe becoming stepping stones, pointing out where you're headed next? If I could look down on this path I walk from somewhere way up high, I could see the crooked road that I've come. I walked a mile with sorrow, I walked a mile with joy. Now I'm less afraid of either one. For every tear I've cried, there's a smile that I have earned. For every mile I walk, there's a lesson I learned. I'm not lost, I am exploring. By the way, you are always invited to sing my songs if you know them. Life is an adventure worth enjoying, though I may not know where I'm going. I am not lost, I am exploring. I am not lost, I am exploring. I'm going to do some shortened versions of these songs so that we can do a few more.
Goody.
Can anyone relate?
Yes.
To I'm not lost, I'm exploring. And ideally, we don't get our whole life put back into the box of the jigsaw puzzle, but sometimes there's one piece or another that's in transition. That's not the way it was, and we can't tell what it's going to be yet. I've got a little song for that too. I'll just do a little bit of it. When we stand between the no longer and the not yet, sometimes we falter and we forget that the answers we can't see wait patiently between the no longer and the not yet. Between the no longer and the not yet. Can you tell I write these songs for myself? I do. We teach what we most need to learn. You too?
You teach them, you write them for me.
Okay. Well, ideally, if when we're teaching, we're doing music, leading a book group, like I saw you guys having your wonderful book group back there, when we answer that call to share a lesson and make it possible for others to share the lessons of their lives. I believe when we share the lessons of our lives, there's a universal truth in all of those lessons, and it's undeniable. It's undeniable. From traveling the world, I know that God is undeniable in every country I've been to, no matter what name you call her or him. I believe that God is so much bigger than our small religions, our small philosophies, our small points of view, our small words. Our words are too small. No combination of words is big enough to describe the good that flows through each of us, the good that is born in every child I've ever seen, in every country I've ever been to. I have seen that same love in every parent of every child, in every country. You know, I see in our culture so much fear about Muslim countries, but if I could just tell you this one thing about being in Muslim countries. If you go to a restaurant, people may warn you as an American that if you're trying to have a deep and meaningful conversation, just know that kids are so loved and so cherished that their experience is just as important as the adults. And so kids will pop in and talk and run around and be playing right next to you. And this is welcome in their culture. And that when you go to a restaurant, while in the American culture you may want to ask the kids to be quiet in the restaurant, in Muslim restaurants or in countries, in Muslim countries, children are just welcome to run through the restaurant, and every parent is watching every child, not just their own child. This is the way the culture is. One big community of all the parents watching all the children, and all the children are safe. You know, I was in Beirut with a friend of mine. She is Lebanese Muslim, but she lives in the United States. And she said that in Chicago, they have these, you know, houses in her subdivision where there's just this big open area between all the houses. But the parents are always watching the children because they're afraid something will happen. They're always watching. She said, when I come to Beirut, I know that I can let my teenagers just go and walk anywhere they want, and that they are always safe. And our kids can go completely out of our sight in Beirut. Our perceptions of things are so different from the reality if we only see our perceptions from television. And yet, from being a television news reporter, I'm going to show you a piece of video that'll be an example of there being good in every child, in every parent, in every person. And I believe this good is God flowing through us. So if we can get ready for the video, if you can pause it for just a second. And let's see if we can turn out the lights. Is that possible?
Oh, we don't have a pause.
You don't have a pause button? Well, we have a volume button because there's music on there. I know we were hearing it earlier. We were hearing.
You have it plugged in.
Okay, so let's just. All right, this is what I want you to see. This is an orphanage we went into. That's me with the guitar. Can you see this little girl with the shriveled legs? And she is reaching into the food tray and she is feeding the little boy who can't use his arms. As we walked in there thinking, we're going to do volunteer work, we're going to make a difference in the world, seeing this little girl made the hugest difference for us. Let's see if we can hear the music a little bit. Oh, is it possibly this cord that?
Yeah, I just unplugged it. If for some reason it's not coming through.
No worries. I can just. You know, it's a good thing that. Look at this little guy. Is he so cute or what? And look at this little boy with Down syndrome feeding this little girl. Nobody is telling them, okay, now you need to feed this one and you need to feed that one. It's lunchtime and they're feeding each other. Let's see what the song says right here. I look a little deeper. How about if we just watch it? Living right. Let's try and make it better for each other somehow. No one should go hungry. Everyone should feel loved. We're all in this together. Every one of us. And this little girl. Cause we're all in this together, living right now. Let's try and make it better for each other somehow. No one should go hungry, everyone should feel loved. We're all in this together, every one of us. So I hope that you feel the way I do, and we'll reach out. That's our friend Scott right there. Can you see Scott? We're all in this together, so let's do all we can. This is all these little kids saying, my name is Sushi. There's Scott Friedman again. Just oh, and all these little kids are saying, I can change the world. That was the beginning of the charity that Scott Friedman and I started, a friend of mine from Denver, called Together We Can Change the World. Together We Can Change the World is a small group of friends. The name of that song is All in This Together, and it was written with Jimmy Scott, who I wrote What Would I Do Today If I Were Brave with. You guys know that one?
Yes.
I'll be doing it in just a minute. Let's do You Will Do Amazing Things. And then at the end of Amazing Things, if you could just keep playing, and I'm going to do a prayer, and then we'll sing Amazing Things one more time. That sound good?
Of course.
So as she plays, I want to ask you, what would you dare to believe about the power of that goodness in you? That power to be there no matter where you decide to go. The power of that wave that's carrying you. Would you dare to believe that there's no shame in any callings that we don't answer? Because another calling is right behind it. And if we say yes to a calling, and we get our faces and our front sides all scraped in the sand, it wasn't a mistake. It was a good ride. There's always another wave, another person to love, another person to love you, another set of friends who need what only you can give. What would you dare to believe about the amazing things you can do with your life? Just like the amazing things that all of these kids are doing and will do with their lives. Letting that power of good flow through toward everyone you meet. And knowing it will always be there to comfort you, to care for you. That you are here to do amazing things. What's your next amazing thing? Let's start with the chorus. You will do amazing things with the choice each new day brings. And with every step you take, bless the progress that you make. Let's pause a second. Let's just start. You will do amazing things, yeah. With the choice each new day brings, oh yeah. And with every step you take, jump in and sing where you want to. The progress that you make, the reason you live, is there in every gift you give. Love your life, love your dreams. You will do amazing things. Amazing, you will do amazing things. Would you be willing to reach out to somebody near you? Amazing, amazing. we're doing a book club, or drinking coffee. So close your eyes, take a breath, and smile, because amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, we're here to do amazing things. We choose to believe in this force of good, this force of God that flows through every child, that is undeniably born in every child, and that is still present just as powerfully in us. We choose to believe that we can trust this force for good, that there are continual waves of it, and that we can wait if we need to take care of ourselves right there and not ride any waves for a little while. And we know that that life-giving force is going to fill us with energy again, so that we're jumping and laughing and riding waves and getting our faces and our chests and our private places all scraped with sand. And then in the shower we're going to wash that sand away like we wash the past away. It has no more hold on us than a wave we rode 10 waves ago. That last wave is gone. And there are new waves every day, waves of opportunity, waves of possibility, waves of opportunity to make a difference in each other's lives right where we are. So what would we dare to believe today if we were brave? If we were brave enough to look for callings all this week, little opportunities to make a difference for someone else, and to see what a difference it makes for us. Amen.
Amen.